The participants will be joining. Anyways, we can start without wasting the time. Thank you so much.
Let me share my screen. I hope you can all see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sorry today, in case if you find little problem, sometimes what happened, the internet here, the places I'm right now, I'm in hotel. I came for one of the implementations. So I'm in the client location, and because of some reason, the internet is not working properly. So in case if you find any sort of disturbance, you're not able to hear me properly, kindly beg my pardon for that. And this is what it is. So with this note, let me start the session. This is basically, okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Abhi. I'm having a total of 19 years of experience in SAP as well as domain. Many years, almost 7, 8 years, I'm into SAP Treasury. I started my career with SAP Finance and Controlling, and then I moved to SAP Treasury. So I have done many implementations and support. Currently, also I'm into the support project. So, and it's all in S4 HANA. I worked also in ECC S4 HANA. So this is about me, and it's been almost 4 or 5 batches, I think, almost to whom I have already trained. Few of the consultant who have taken a training from me, they have already implemented SAP TRM into their companies, and they basically when they have joined my training, they were into the SAP other module, let's say FI module, or you know, and after taking up the training, they have successfully implemented SAP Treasury in their companies, for their clients. So I'm also hoping that after taking the training, you can implement the same SAP TRM, or if to um, change the job, or to move your career from SAP some other module to SAP TRM, you are all welcome here. So this is about me, and with that, let me start the session. So when you go for implementations, it is not like every companies, whether they have implemented SAP or they are running their own local ERP system everywhere, or let's say they don't have any such ERP in context to the SAP TRM module. What will happen? The problems I have seen, that normally what happen in the absence of any such kind of comprehensive module. Normally, we find that they are working with some kind of local ERP solutions or something like that, and there is no as such an kind of comprehensive SAP TRM module. So normally, what they do all sort of transaction into Excel. See, treasury is a very regular activities which is performed by every business, like um, whether it's a small organization, big organization, they have their own treasury divisions who will take care of all sort of investment decision. Let's say they wanted to invest money in the fixed term deposit, or let's say they are investing money into the mutual funds or securities. They are buying forex related activities, and they are continuously, this kind of activities, what I'm trying to say, it's very common. So first we understand, like, what are the common challenges when I go for the implementation. So I find that the business processes are all fine, but because they don't have any such kind of integrated SAP treasury system, so what they do, they normally maintain all this activity into the Excel. Okay, so this is the first point. In the absence of any comprehensive treasury module, business normally maintain everything in Excel. What are the other things? See, when they are maintaining everything in Excel, that means they also maintaining all the accounting entries in enter entries by manual JV, right? Manual JV means like kind of accounting posting, journal voucher. So what are the problem here? So if you don't have any standard systems, you are maintaining everything is in Excel, and what you have to do, let's say you have got a huge number of transaction. So every time you have to rely on the Excel, someone has to go deep dive into the Excel and do all sort of accounting entries, right? And in case, let's say, if I'm the person who is in charge of that particular activities, treasury activities, now let's say if I am on leave, if other person knows it, it's fine. Otherwise, because system will not give you any alert or intimation, yeah, this is, has to be done. Let's say this investment has to be done, or let's say the interest, the maturity has happened. Let's say when I'm talking about a simple product called fixed term deposit. Okay. So what happened? How the investment decision company will take? They will try to pull the funds, whatever the excess cash they have, and they decide based on their forecasting or short-term forecasting, or like or their own business decision, strategic decision based on the short-term, long-term forecasting. If they feel that there's some fund which is lying here and we can park that investment, let's say for a couple of months, or let's say I have some funds which is available, I don't know when the funds required. So I will go to the bank saying that I have a fund. I don't want to go with any sort of 10 year. I'm investing right now. I may require the fund after 1 week, or maybe after, if not, I may continue to do the investments. So like that. So there are some companies who feel that I have a fund. I may not require this fund maybe for 3 months. Some companies, they have a situation like that. They have fund, but whenever anything is required, they can withdraw the fund. So this is a kind of different requirement. So when we have a the customer who knows the terms and conditions of any sort of investment, they may park their investment into the various investments in the various financial instruments. In SAP Treasury language, we call it as a product type. So let's say, if some organization knows that they don't need the money, let's say for 3 months, they normally go with the investment. Let's say if it is fixed term deposit, they may go with the investment, let's say for 3 months. This is called 3 month of tenure, and this is called the term investments. When I know the fixed term of the investment, well, there are certain organization. I mean, there be some situation where the um, clients may have a fund, but the requirement of the fund may be any time after a week. So in that case, the term investment would not be a suitable choice for them. They may go with that in case the bank have an investment kind of product called deposited notice. Okay, so depending on the requirement situation, one will take a decision. The cash manager will take a decision how much funds and where to do the investment. The investment of an organization is bound by the investment decision or investment strategy, basically the investment policy, I would say. So let's say what happen is, if you see, if you're going with a government organization where you're implementing SAP TRM, you'll find that they have a restrictions to invest those funds only into the very secured fixed a kind of fixed instrument, where there is no risk at all. So in that case, they may not go with a uh, risk element kind of investment, when you're talking about like mutual funds or shares or something like that. So this investment policy would govern. I mean, this kind of investment always be governed by the investment policy of the organization. So again, we come back to the common challenges. So first thing, what we observe that when you go for implementations, you'll find the first challenge is they are not into the any SAP system at all. There is no integrated as such SAP system, whether if they are using a local ERP or anything. In that case, what they normally practice, they do, they maintain everything in Excel, and based on that, there's some kind of complicated process altogether. And they will try to post these things based on the Excel. And let's say they are doing the investment, they will post those based on the investment decision. They will post to the manual journal voucher. And let's say there's a 1 or 2% who's responsible for that because there is no standard report or standard things are available. If the key person is not available, and let's say if the person forget to enter the transaction into the system, then what will happen? System will, I mean, you see the impact would be it will impact on your financial statement because you are not posting to the entries. There should be, let's say, there's some kind of maturity happen on that day. You have not posted the transaction, or let's say if you have done investment with a bank and you forget to enter the entry, then what will happen? Your cash positions will not reflect the true and fair value on your bank balances with a bank oblique your bank balances in the system, whether you're using any system, any ABC system. And then what will happen? These are the things, and there are certain activities when you're talking about the treasury. The first thing is the various based on various scenarios. Let's say you have done investments. You have a after that. Let's say after certain point of time, you will have a maturity of the investments. You don't have any standard system, standard report available. Your calculation every time you have to go and put all these details into the Excel, and based on that, you have to do the very listening with the bank. You have to keep update your Excel every time in case your Excel and your system is not in sync. That means if something is wrong, you forget to update the entries in the system month end activities are there. Example, accruals, postings. Example, write of the expenses, mark to market for the shares, net present values, calculations, many of such. So what happened again? All these activities, then again another activities would be transferred from non-current to current. Example, if your investments, let's say for 1 year, and it cross the fiscal year in that particular year. Let's say I have done an investment for a year, 1 year from now. So what will happen? Let's say your fiscal year will fall in between December. So again, you have to calculate your current versus non-current. That means how much portion of your investment would be considered as in current and how much portion would be considered as a non-current. All this report, all these things, you have to do it in Excel, right? So these are the things. So if I take about, I mean, this is one of the things, maintain postings, and again, I'm sorry, let me have some water.
Hi Venkat, can
Yeah,
you hear
I'm
me?
sorry.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you, Abhi. Venkat, actually, to me, the voice is very clear, and I hope so. Can you just increase the volume from your end? Others also can confirm if they have any issues with the mic or if the screen is stuck, okay? Thank you.
Okay.
Abhi, I can hear you, but it is very slow. If you able to increase your voice, that's enough.
Yeah, guys,
I think
you have to increase the volume from your end too,
my
because from my
my
end,
volume
I can hear you.
is to the great extent, maximum extent. I think you check it from your end. Okay, so let's start the thing. Okay. So what I was talking about, so it's all about manual accounting entries. So in this process, the most difficult part is if the treasury team or treasury person forget to post the accounting entries, then what will happen if it is forced? Because system, there is a no alert in the system. I mean, there is nothing, no standard. So every time based on your Excel, you have to post the manual JV. So person forget to post the entries, then what will happen? Your entire then enter uh, you know your financial statement will not reflect the true picture. Then all the month end activities, let's say your accrual or accrual posting, deferral posting, then your current versus non-current has to be done manually. Okay. So what happened in this case, as I said, if that person, the person who is doing that, in case he forget to maintain, or if the new person, say let's say join, he will be clueless because for some days, because there is no standard thing, is everything is Excel. So the calculation and everything, it would be so hectic. Like you have to do a lot of activities for all sort of stuff. If it is one or two investment, it's fine. Let's say if it is 100 investment or something like that, it would be very, very hectic for the business user. So these are the various common challenges. Now let's talk about um, what will happen if we implement the SAP TRM module, right? What will happen if we implement the SAP TRM module? This is the first thing what we observe. Like, when you implement the SAP Treasury module, the first thing would be you get rid, I mean, there would be, there will be standard reports available. Okay. There will be standard reports available for all the transactions one enter into the system. So what is happening now? If you see, there's a standardization happen. That means you no need to rely on the Excel. In case any new person join, he can rely on the standard SAP, I mean standard reports which are available, right? No need to do the manual posting or manual JV, since system will take care of the automatic posting in the event. But there is, for that there's a transaction PVB1 has to be executed, or we can schedule this activity via background job. These are the second. So you get rid from all the Excel because standard reports are available for all the transaction you enter. Manual posting of JV you get rid of because the standard recipe transaction which take care of all sort of accounting posting, right? And then we come to the Another advantage is call your month-end activities. Month-end activities, like when you talk about month-end, maybe accruals, let's say accruals oblique deferral posting, then okay, or any other, let's say if it is stock, it's a mark to market, NPV calculation, all sort of thing, etc. It would be performed. System will perform automatically, of course, based on certain setup we have to do, right? So then all sort of current versus non-current calculation done by system. So these and all sort of liasoning with the bank. So when you're talking about the again, all sort of liasoning with the bank, all sort of, the coordination activities will be, coordination activities with banks also uh, can be done with various Furia. So, what I'm saying that, like right now, you may be knowing that the bank account masters, right? In the bank account masters, right now, it's not a part of the configuration activities anymore. It is a part of the master data. So what is happening, let's say, if you are doing some kind of activities with the bank, like, you're coordinating, being a treasury team, we have always seen that you have to do a lot of collaborations, coordinations with the bank team. Let's say if you need a kind of a forex rate, or let's say you need to buy to forex at the spot at the time, because many countries where I've seen that their local currency is something, but at the same time they have to pay salaries to their staff into the other currencies. Example here, one of the countries, when I visited, their local currency is something else. But what happened? Because of that, their salary, they paid salaries to their staff in USD. So in that case, what happened? The cash manager has to arrange. They have to sell their local currency and buy USD to pay the salary to the staffs. And for that, there are many activities they have to perform. Let's say they will coordinate with the bank, they will go and visit the different bank to whom they get the best spot rate. They will approve that, and from that particular bank only, they will purchase that. So these activities now in SAP Fiori, you can enter those transactions. Let's say there's a memo records which is there in the SAP Fiori. Using the memo records, you can create a forex trade request into the system. So then what happened? This is a kind of it will post into the system as a memo record. Why this process? Because see, what will happen when if you see the any activities of the treasury team, let's say cash manager in the treasury team, their activity is to like to identify any short term or middle term cash requirement. So let's say if we feel that, let's say today we are 15th of this month, and let's say we have to make the payment of the salary, or let's say 30th of the month. So he wanted to have all sort of planning in advance, maybe 1 week advance, or yeah. So for that, the memo records which will give it. So previously what happened, because in the absence of any such thing, they have to create a various customized things. I've seen many companies what they do, they will do some kind of customized, transactions to create a to create a forex request, and then someone else will view and approve it, and then it will appear into the system, something like that. So SAP identify those kind of things, and that's a reason, because this request would be also a part of your a kind of short-term liquidity forecast on short-term forecast. So that's a reason SAP has given a Fury app because in the previously SAP given the managed memory records app into the system, there this functionality was not available. 1809 onwards, they have come back with its new functionality in memo records that is called cache forest trade request. You can create it into the system, and the moment you create a forex trade request, it is something like, let's say you go and collect the forex. Let's say you finalize a kind of an agreement with the bank that you're going to buy on so and so price, and you want these records to be a part of uh, your liquidity forecast. So when you post this particular forex memo record into the system, so cash manager can see those data into their short-term forecasting, and based on that they will take a decision like they already, let's say they have already got the rate that on so and so date the rate would be this one, the spot rate, and based on that they would buy. So what I'm trying to say now, like all this activity, let's say liaising with the bank, coordinating with the bank, now all these activities, it would be very simple, like in the bank account master data. Now it is entirely part of the treasury team. Now Treasury team will take care all sort of activities, whether with when to open a bank account, right from the opening a bank account to closing a bank account. There is a process for all sort of things. So it would be now done into the SAP under bank account management. And this is no more as a part of uh, configuration activities anymore. It's a purely part of master data. So inside the master data, you have got so many fields. You can have your bank relationship manager contact numbers and all this stuff. And the processes also has been broadened by the SAP. Now SAP has, like, if there is an opening process, bank account opening process, then closing process of the bank, everything has been defined, and these are the activities are done by the SAP Treasury. So this is about a kind of uh, what are the activities. Okay, we talk about various month-end activities, year-end activities, everything, and automatic posting, standard reports. So these are the basically basic benefit when you implement SAP Treasury. I'm not saying that it is you should have to take the SAP only. In case if you find these features are available in the other local ERP too. So, but SAP, our main courses is mainly SAP TRM module. So I'm mainly talking about my SAP TRM perspective. So these are the basically agenda to implement the SAP TRM. When you go, to a client, we find these are the challenges. I hope you all able to understand, right? So, and the thing is, I may not able to take session too long today because I right now there will be a kind of situation the internet is not very stable. You may face sometimes the difficulties in case. So I'll be taking a session for 1 hour, maybe another half an hour. Yeah. So okay, let's go to the next topic. Okay. So this is what we understand about the common challenges. And another thing is when you go for implement SAP TRM to an organization who is basically doing all these activities in Excel, it would be very, very challenging. I tell you, it would be very, very challenging because you find there are some certain things which may not be possible to do it into the system. You have to sit with the client and understand and rectify the processes. Okay, because in Excel you can do many things. When it comes to SAP, the process when you define in Excel and all these things, many things you can do it by your own way. But SAP, we expect certain standardization in the process. Example, in my recent implementation when I'm going, I find that the clients are using multiple banks to do their investments. Let's say when they are investment done by the single banks to, let's say, one organization. But in that case, what will happen? They have multiple banks. They are making the money, and they want when you implement this one SAP, they wanted to apply multiple banks to do the investments. So this is not possible because when you create a deal in the system will not allow multiple banks. It will simply allow one incoming and one outgoing transaction, house bank for the transaction. So this is what you have to do a lot of work. You have to go and sit, understand the business processes, and you have to suggest them what basically rectifications, measure they have to take. You have to make them understand how the SAP works. So yeah. So let's say when you're talking about the overview organization structure of the treasury, normally this is a standard. Like many places I get a question like, is it a standard? So actually, if you go to any treasury books, right, this is the standard organization structure by define. It is a normal organization structure defined. Any books of treasury, if you go through that, is a standard structure given. So what is happened, like normally, we see that entire organization structure of treasury would lies into this three uh, different divisions, or I can say a department. One would be the front office team. The entire organization structure break into three. Like you have an front office, you have got a middle office, you have got a back office. So what is the front office? The front office, I will explain this. I mean, I'll try to explain it in a very easier way to understand. Let's say if you go to a bank, right, to open a either savings account or a current account, let's say. So what you do, you go to the bank and you ask to the counter, the banks, the people who are sitting in the bank, they are called the front office team. So you collecting the forms from them and you ask them like what are the activities, what are the things I have to perform. So they will give you simple form. They will give you like you need some kind of a photo, passport size photo or company's details in case if you're opening current account. So let's say all this sort of then social securities number or any other passports, or in case it depends like whatever the documents. So let's say you submit all the documents, you do this relevant signature, you give in all the details of your company or if it is individual investments. So and you submit. After you submit the things, the front office will take the form and submit to the middle office team. So middle office team will the kind of an another team who will takes care of all sort of things. So they knows the ins and outs of the processes because your front office team may be very new, but what happened is this team, the middle office team, they already know to in order to open a current account or a savings account for any sort of what are the uh, policies are governed. So they will go and see all the documents provided by the client, whether all the documents are there or if any missing. In case of missing, they will reject the form and then they will ask them to front office to collect all sort of documents. And once it is done, let's say you submit all the documents and the middle office team find everything is okay. So their duty is to do all sort of activities like doing validations of the things, and that is called in SAP's language called settlement. So under settlement, what we'll do, they will try to validate all the things, whatever entered by the front office team, they validate and they will, once they find everything is okay, they will settle the document. Now, what will happen? Like this is only activities? No. See, example, you may think that what will happen if he just don't settle? What will happen? Like if in case if he is not settled, what will happen? So here is a system validation will happen. So example, if the let's say in SAP's language, let's say in SAP system, let's say if front office has created particular transaction, and let's say it is not been validated by the middle office team. In that case, what will happen? System will not allow you to perform the transaction like for accounting posting if any. Okay, so settlement is not just an mere a kind of an activity, but it is a dependent activities. If the settlement you define for a particular product, the settlement required. That means I need a 4I principle. Someone will going to create it and someone else will going to validate. So right in that case, what happened? Until and unless this person validates and everything, he don't do the settlement, system will not allow you to post any accounting posting, right? So now let's say this is we understand about the front office team, we understand about the middle office team. Now we understand what is the back office. The back office is this team basically. They are taking care of all sort of accounting postings, like accounting, all sort of accounting posting, then coordinating with the bank, all sort of activities. It would be done by the back office team, right? So any foreign currency. So basically any sort of accounting posting, because because treasury team, if you're talking about, they are fine if they see the cash flows into the system. But what happened, the back office team, we need an accounting posting, because without that, your financial statement, it will not show a true and correct position, especially in the in the matter of, like, your cash position, your bank position. It will not reflect the current. If you miss this transaction, your position update will also not happening into the system. Like, say, if you've invested money into the shares or invested into fixed term deposit, there is a parallel accounting entry when you posted the transaction. What will happen? It will post the debit investment account and credit your bank account or bank clearing account. So whatever you say. So this position account, when you're talking about, we're talking about the um, like investment account, your position account, your bank clearing or bank account would be your, which reflect your, it's talking about when you posting this transaction, it reflect your bank or cash positions. So that's a reason. I mean, this is not a kind of a standard. I mean, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the front office, middle office, back office team, this is a kind of an ideal picture, ideal organization structure given by any books, or I mean, normally we follow this particular standard. But I like to tell you, many companies I have observed, even though they have got a big structure or anything, they may not have this concept of middle office. Or let's say when you implemented a SAP Treasury module, and we find that Treasury team is very small, like, they hardly have a transaction, investment transaction, let's say 5 or 6 in a month. And for that, there is no separate team. One person is entering the data into the system, and one time he is responsible for all sort of accounting, posting, everything. In that case, client will ask you, like, we may not go with a settlement process if we can skip. Yes, SAP provided this option. In case if you feel the client may feel that they don't want to go with the settlement process, it will create an additional burden to them. In that case, every product has got an option. You can skip this particular process. So when we define a design a product type with a transaction type, under that we have an option to define a processing category without settlement. So these kind of things also will come. And also some clients sometimes what they say that, let's say we want approval mechanism to be happening. Yes, even though at the product level, at the activity level of the product type, you can define the workflow approval process approval mechanism. So what will happen? Let's say you create a deal, and it will go to the another approver who will approve that. And based on that, the workflow has to be it trigger it that way. So whatever the approver for that, who the middle office team, once they will approve it, only then the deal would be ready for posting to the accounting. So these are the various things about the treasury organization structure. Now the another important things I thought of discussing is called a business partner. When you're talking about the business partner, so when you talk about the business partner, what do you understand? So we understand. So in normal parlance, business partner is nothing like, from where you're buying and selling a products, right? You basically, your supplier is your business partner. Your customer is your business partner. But in treasury, when you do the investments to the bank, do really they are a business partner? Yes, they are a kind of business partner, but not exactly the business partner which you seen it in your MM or SD module, right? You may see your supplier, you may see your customer. So this is not the same type of business partner we are dealing in Treasury module. In Treasury module, we are dealing with a business partner with a business partner role called counterparty or depository or the issuer BP role. These are the various BP role we must see in the, I mean, we normally see into the system. So when you're talking about the counterparty BP role, what does it mean? Counterparty means other than the business partner. This is the definition. If you go and see the Google also, you'll find this is the definition other than business partner. That means you are defining that this relationship of the counterparty business partner is other than your normal business partner. So when you doing the investment with the bank, so that bank is considered is also created under business partner under different role, BP role. They are not your supplier or a customer. They are called counterparty BP role because you only have an investment relation with them. You are buying the loan product, you are investing money to the bank, you are buying forex, you are buying trade finance product. Yeah, so these sort of business partner when you're dealing, they are called the counterparty business partner. So the counterparty business partner, it's very important in SAP Treasury because it controls many things. So unlike your business partner for the customers, I mean your supplier or a, your supplier or vendor, you may see the different tabs. The tabs, it will not match here. So if you go and see the business partner, into the SAP system, you find, okay, for that, let me open my system. Give me one moment, please. So let me share my screen. I hope you can all see my SAP screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in the SAP, okay, if I go to the, okay, let me, so now this is one of the example of the counterparty BP role has been created. Let's say, if you see this, what is the BP role here? It's a TR0151, right? So now if you go to the, so every BP has got a three role ideally in your normal FI, this thing, MM integration. You see there is general data segment, then company code segment, and then purchase area or sales areas, purchase organization, sales area segment. So here, what will happen if you go to the, there is only two segment. One is called general data segment and another is called the company code segment. This is a two segment. And if you see, uh, let's say if you see here, okay, 1 minute. Okay, now you see that this screens, the tabs, the company code segment data, it's not very similar to your vendor customer, right? So you can see SI payment details, SI correspondence, SI authorization, SI derived flow. So what does it SI stand for? The SI stand for is a standing instruction for the payment. So example, when you make the payment to the bank, because let's say we are dealing with a bank. So whenever we have a discussion, like let's say we wanted to have an investment decision with a bank, and we were, so what is happening, you do an investment, you have to send the funds to the bank, right? So when you decided to do the investment with the bank, so here you can see in the SI payment details, we have to give the details like who is my, uh, who would be my outgoing bank, who would be my incoming bank. So based on that only, system will create your payment request and all. So in the payment details, you will see, maybe right now you may not able to understand what is the payment details. But what I'm trying to say, this payment details is nothing but it's an the details like from which bank the payment has to be happened. So from which bank, what is the account ID, house bank. So all we are maintaining in the counterparty BP rule. There is a correspondence. Correspondence is another topic. Well, it's a something like, you it's kind of an empty messages you have to send to the bank for counter confirmations. So this is a kind of an, in case if you don't want, you need a more sophisticated system. You don't want the automatic confirmation happen from the bank side based on the whatever investment done and all. Then we can implement the SAP correspondence. Uh, Many clients may not go with that. Then another important area is authorization. So basically, let's say a, this particular a kind of a restrictions you can say in the business partner master data. Let's say uh, you have an transaction, like you only wanted to have an investment with a bank, Citibank. You don't wanted to have any loans from the Citibank, and you don't wanted to do any sort of transaction other than the investment. So in that case, you can define under the product group. You can see this particular folder. This is called a product group. So inside the product group, you can define which product you wanted to deal with this particular bank. If you define, I only wanted to have an investment, I don't wanted to have a forex transaction, I don't wanted to do any security transaction or derivative transaction. That means I'm not going to, when I'm talking about the securities transaction, how does it link your bank? Because for your demat account, you have to link your a bank account. So if you link your bank account, so that point of time, your counterparty BP will come into picture. So if you don't want, you wanted to give some separate bank, you define whatever the products you want to deal with that. Once you define, system will only take care of that. So if someone wants to create a deal which is not defined in the authorization, let's say he wanted to create a deal, let's say which is let's say money market investment, you can see that be not been ticked. So what will happen if anybody wants to do a sort of investment with the Citibank? System will not allow you to create any sort of deal into the system if you do not define it. So either you can define this as a product group level, or you can go and at the define at your product level. Let's say fixed deposit, let's say 51A or TD1. You can go, let's say I have created a 51 pay for the standard product. So if you define it here, let's say I'm going to the change mode, and let's say I don't want this bank should deal other than my investment. So what I do, this is a standard product type. I said this is a 5100 and define. So other than 51A, if anybody tries to create a product type, system will not allow you to do that. So something wrong. So okay, you leave this. Okay. So this is how the system will do the control from this end. Now there is a kind of derived flow. Derived flow is another sort of things, like let's say if you wanted to do the calculation of the TDS of any tax, you can define it under derived flow. So based on that, if you wanted to apply that particular derived flow, let's say particular sort of taxes you wanted to apply, here, let's say for the investments, you can select it, and accordingly it will apply. When you create a deal, that point of time system will take the tax calculation procedure from this business partner. So this is about a kind of an okay, this is about that how the business partners is different now. And if we go to this screen, like if your SAP Treasury screen, like now SAP FSCM is called SAP Financial Supply Chain Management, and we have many things. So when you go for the SAP implementation of Treasury, you find that your client also looking for bank communication management. They're also looking for IHC. They're also looking for um, you know in case they have got a big cash and collection, they may go with credit management, collection management, dispute management, or many things like in-house cash, depending on the situation. So this is our product. Like if you go to the treasury and risk management transaction manager, you find the transaction manager is a folder under which all sort of product type are defined. So let's say this is called your product um, group. Under product group, you have so many products. So under the product group of money market, if you go to the product type is nothing but there are various financial instruments which we normally termed as an product type. So you can see it has a commercial paper, fixed term deposit, deposit at notice, interest rate instruments. So whatever banks are dealing, it's called the money market. So when you're talking about the money market, we referring to the bank or the financial institutions from where we buy different investment related products, or we take a loan from the bank, right? So similarly, we have got a product group um, called foreign exchange, securities, listed derivatives, OTC derivative, trade finance. So now come to the trade finance. See, trade finance is a recent inclusion of this. See, this product was not there. If you I don't know how many people maybe if you are there into the ECC already working in SAP Treasury, you may observe that in ECC this product group trade finance was not there. So there is no product group as such trade finance. So even if someone was to create the treasury product called letter of credit or bank guarantee, we usually copy some kind of similar products and make with the enhancement of some screen enhancement, add some tabs here and there. We try to create a similar like a product, called a trade finance. Let's say they want your client looking for a uh, bank guarantee, or they're looking for a letter of credit. So using that product with the customizations, we create a similar kind of product, but there's no standard solution given. 1509 onwards, when SAP come up with the SAP Simple Finance 1509, at that point of time, SAP given this trade finance product group. Since then, you know, this trade finance is available. So now, example, if your client is in ECC system, they don't have an immediate plans to go with the S4 HANA immediately. Let's say there will be situation where you have to go and implement the SAP Treasury. In that case, you can suggest to go with the latest patch. So they may be with the SAP ECC 6.0, EHP, they have to, if they are EHP 6.5 or 7, they have to upgrade to EHP 8. So only then they can able to utilize this product called trade finance. So trade finance product would be available in ECC 6 EHP enhancement pack 8. Under that it is available. So this is about, so under the trade finance, you can see all sort of letter of credit and bank guarantee. When you're talking about the derivative products, let's say interest rate swaps, right? Currency swaps, caps and floors. These are a part of your derivative. Now derivatives, you can buy the derivative from the OTC market. OTC means over the counter, which is nothing but in bank, or let's say you're buying the product from the forward market. Like let's say so both the places you can see the all the products, same product, whether it is OTC or listed derivatives. Both the places you can see all sort of products like caps and floors, future and options, or your interest rate swap, your currency swaps, all these things. So, and in the security modules, it basically deal with all sort of your shares, equity shares, and then mutual funds, then bonds. You can define. I mean, the SAP standard product has been given for that. For the under securities module, you can use those particular products, and yeah, that is pretty much. So I wanted to stop it here. So any questions, anything like that? In case there's no question, then I can wind up the session for the day.
Uh,
Hello,
guys,
Abhi.
please unmute yourself and go ahead with the queries. Thank you. Yeah, Venkat, please go ahead.
Yeah, Abhi, today is first class or is demo?
It's a kind of an overview, I would say. I will start the session. It's an overview understanding of the session. Yes, tomorrow we'll start with the system. So before we directly go into the system and do the things, so we thought of, let's say, give you some kind of overview. What are the business challenges and all? So that's the reason it's been started. Yeah.
Okay,
Hello, Abhi.
thank you.
I have a question. I have checked. Yani, this treasury products also be payables. Huh? The system is allowing through treasury to do normal vendor payments. So, yani, we have to process differently, like using digital
Yes.
bank.
Yes. Yes. There isn't different. You normally, if you wanted to do normal vendor payment via the IHC, it will allow you the IHC mode. But when you go normal vendor payment, normally we do not do via the F111 transaction. I mean, normal vendor payment would be done by the F110. Let's say you have an PO, GR, IR, then payment, it will all be done. But if there's a specific transactions specific related to the vendor, which is used for treasury, specific treasury, in that case, we can use the free from payment, which is a part of Fury app. So when you're using the treasury payment, we may use, vendor in that context. So we try to segregate the normal transaction with the vendor transaction, doing that, like, your normal invoice payment, everything would be happening via the F110. But when it comes to specific treasury transaction, those transaction will be routed through the SAP treasury payment called F111. And also, if you're implementing SAP in-house cash, so what will happen, you have a two different system. Let's say you have got a sending system in another system, let's say OLTP system, and then there what will happen, the payment will come to a SAP IHC center. When you do the execution of the vendor payment by F110, a IDOC will get triggered to your payment system, and then payment would be done via the F111. So yeah, so what my point is, we try to segregate the normal transaction. If it is normal vendor customer payment, that would be all routed via the F110. But if it is specific to any treasury transaction, that will execute via the F111. Yes.
And what about
Any issue, Abhi?
trade finance product like
Hmm.
for
It all
export
depends. It all depends. It all
export
depends.
LC?
As I said, like, that's what Sayed. It's all depend
Hmm.
how the companies are doing like that. If they feel that the final payment of the LC would be paid via the treasury, that can be done. Or some companies, they follow the entire processes. They will do it via the F110 only. They try to link SAP LC into their transaction process. So all depends. But you rightly said, yes, LC we can pay it via the F111. But what will happen? There is a limitations also. Limitation in the sense when you create a normal process, let's say you create a PO, you create a GR, you create a IR, you create a payment. What? So in that case, what will happen? All these links will get established. But the moment you try doing something in the SAP TRM module, that link will get, I mean, break actually. So okay, this is my point. So I think my internet is getting breaking now because internet is so low. Uh, I may not able to continue much more time. In case if you have got any question on the fast track, please update because it's showing internet is something is breaking.
Abhi, are you going to take the risk management also?
So yeah, I would like to. Can you hear me? It's again down. Uh,
Yes, we
so
can
in the
hear you.
risk management, in the risk management, I will not take care of market risk analyzer or portfolio analyzer. I will take care of the when you're talking about the risk management, especially talk about the hedge management and the credit risk analyzer. I
So,
think Sana will already will provide you the content. So based on that, she will give you the details of that.
so those two will be not part of
No,
this
it would not
discussion,
be
right?
part of my curriculum. Yes, yes, you're right. I'll not take care of that.
Sarji, this is Bob.
Yeah, hi Bob.
I have a question, follow-on question to the somebody is asking. So my question is, in LOC, letter of credit, under the risk management, the configuration is there, right? For the bank guarantee and LOC, the fixed
Hmm,
percentage of the value. Will you be showing that
correct.
configuration? My okay, let
Fixed
me give my
percentage can.
background.
Mhm, mhm.
My background, I'm a SAP GTS consultant. So in
Okay,
GTS
okay.
import and export. So one recently, as you know, they moved
Mhm.
the LOC LNF LOC module to this TRM. So that's how I ended up in this training. So I'm
No,
particularly looking
there is
for.
no as such thing until unless you manually input. There is no automatic system calculation for that. That's what
Yes,
I'm trying to say.
yeah, I know. We need to input there. So there is a enhancement
Correct.
baddie is there where to
Uh,
do the enhancement to
that's what
do the.
that's what Bob. That when we're talking about the enhancement, so it is a part of not a part of standard deliverable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what because we are not going to show it something in an enhanced versions way because our system, what we're getting it, it's a kind of standard crap version of SAP.
Okay, understood. So, meaning, what is the limitation till the LOC part of it, interest input, will you be showing the standard way of input it?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. My last question for today. I am planning to take the certification, TRM certification. There is a in the C4 and that the topic being tested is covered by your training, as the Sana shared me um, the course
No,
details. But one
no,
topic,
no. I tell you, see, if you're talking about the certifications, my courses is not, related to the certifications because I tell you, certifications is completely different. You have to go through the things, the questions, they have a standard pattern of questions. Sometimes you find the questions may come on the entire FSCM. They may ask a question from the IHC, bank communication management, anywhere, right? So my topic is only to people who are new to SAP or they are already implementing SAP to make them understand how the SAP
I understood.
to that.
I have no issues.
Certifications, I'm not taking care of.
Okay. No, I'm not asking you to take care of the certification. My question, please allow me to complete. There is a topic under cash operations. Under cash operations, there is a topic called payment processing. Will you be covering that topic, payment processing?
In the topic, it has got a electronic bank statement. It has got a, if you're talking about the payment processing of the cash management, it has got a many things. So when you're talking about the cash management process, we started with the all sort of electronic bank statement, DME payments, right? Then upload all the memo records and everything. I'll not be taking care of that. No, because our, if you have these things, I would suggest you go with the SAP Learning Hub access, where they will only, even in the Learning Hub also, because my course is not that extensive, like I'll take care of the electronic bank statement, because these courses, it will take itself like 50 to 60 hours. I cannot able to take care of other topics that extensively, because it's a very long course. I'm sorry, I cannot able to take care, because your cash management topic, if you know, it is a part FI. If you're talking about the electronic bank statement, it is a normal SAP FI process where you do the electronic bank statement upload. The only difference is that when you do the OT83, you only define the planning level. So definitely, I will not take care of the cash management entire process, which start from the uh, intraday bank statement upload to electronic bank statements, then system. I have in that to do that. Then I have to take then 100 hours of courses. No, I will not take care of cash management. Only I have taken care of the overview level. So those things you have to explore by yourself, and this is not a very difficult part. This is only part of standard SAP electronic bank statement. If you're talking about memo records are using providing by the bank. It will in the standard process under FF underscore 5 will upload, so and it will appear. So my topic on the cash management only deals with the overview level. So if you're talking about the entire cash management operation, sorry, I'll not take care of that.
Okay, sir,
Which
no problem.
maybe
I will
I am
definitely.
trying to do a different topic. Maybe in future I try to create an another courses for that, where the people are not knowing the electronic bank statements and all. But this course is not included, that one. Yeah, thank you. Bob. You tell me.
Uh, thank you, no problem. I will explore elsewhere, as you said, maybe Learning Hub somewhere. Because
Yes, learning hub also it will only give you. So Bob, the point is, see, these are the not the topic of the where you have to explore. Only you have to explore your own way in the sense, like it's a simple electronic bank statement configurations, nothing more than that.
but one of the Accenture requirements, they said one of the client, I'm actually putting showing up 12 years of FI background. So they, when I walk into the client place, they expect me to go through this is the primary activity of 50% of
Correct.
the time client place payment
I
processing.
agree. I agree. I
So
agree.
for
But
me, it
as
is
I
very
said,
good.
like,
Yeah, I understood. I will
yes,
look
yes, you can.
elsewhere. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just.
because in that case, you have to go through the standard electronic bank statement configurations, and these are part of that. Now, what is happening? I may give you the overview, but frankly speaking, again, the people who don't know the electronic bank statement, to make them understand, I may need another 30 hours. So I don't have that much. I only came here to give you, the standard, treasury idea training for that. Yes, I agree. This is also important. But I feel like you take up some, electronic bank statement configurations. There are a lot of videos are available in the YouTube, or maybe you can try, and all lots of documents are available. You can try. It's very kind of a small topic only.
Okay, sir.
But yes, the
Thank you.
people who don't know, for them, electronic bank statement is a really challenge. I appreciate even DME, data medium exchange, is also another topic where you have to work extensively. So these are the topics I actually thinking to bring a separate course altogether. But as you said, like maybe I'll try in case I'll try to create one separate courses for the people who don't know or don't have a much understanding on the electronic bank statement or data medium exchange, I'll in future I'll try to create a course. Yeah, but not at this
Thank you.
point of time. Means not with that treasury. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Sergi.
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome.
I just wanted to reinforce that will be very helpful if you could consider doing that in the future.
Yes. Actually, this has been requirement for many time. It happened. Really speaking, I couldn't get a time, but surely, because I feel the treasury consultant should be very good in that, because now memo records will come with the intraday bank statement. So if you don't know the electronic bank statement configuration, but however, uh, yeah, I will see if I can bring this course for you. I will surely try for that.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So if there's no question, then can I wind up the session for today?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much and have a good day
Thank
to all.
you.